Well, here we are. Here we are at OpenSourceWorld. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm John Mark Walker. I'm the founder of the latest company, Community Root LLC, and we're doing the Open Source and Windows project and an Open Source and Windows conference coming to the Bay Area in probably March 2010.
So what is I mean, I don't think open source and Windows is always thought of together necessarily,
you know,
even though there's a lot of open source that runs on Windows.
It's funny, everyone has, every project, or most projects, create an open source, create a Windows version, but there's no like comprehensive way of tying together all the open source stuff on Windows. And so this conference and the project is an attempt to corral the open source activity there that's going on.
And yeah, and I remember, I forget if this was a year or two ago, but like there was a big to do with like JBoss and Microsoft kind of making sure JBoss runs, and there was actually some interesting little facts and figures they came out about as far as the percentage of people running Java things on Windows and using Active Directory and things like that.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because a lot of projects have approached me individually saying they're not sure if they want to be a part of the conference because they're not sure they want to really promote the Windows side of their business, which is interesting to me. But that's sort of that.
Do you think they feel like they would lose some cred or something like that?
Exactly. It's sort of like the punk ethos, right? Like we're not going to play stadiums because we play clubs. You know, that's.
But oddly enough, they always drink the same vodka, right?
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm up to, and it promises to be a lot of fun.
And so when is that conference exactly?
Well, I'm looking at venues. We should have one locked down in the next month, but we're thinking March 2010.
So and so March 2010, right? Oh yeah. Hopefully not during South by Southwest. You got to make sure it's not that same week.
I do not want to run smack in South by Southwest. That would be bad.
So you were like at Hyperic way back when, and then you went to CollabNet, and you've sort of been in the community manager role.
Yes.
In those sorts of things, and like. What do you think the state of community management is nowadays?
The state of community management?
I'll narrow that down. I mean, do you think it's become like a very well-defined, narrow role, or is it still kind of like an experimental thing?
If nothing else, it's become this sort of sprawling, where when they say community management, they can mean any number of things. They can mean like actual project caretaker, they can mean like grassroots PR, they can mean like social media master. It's become this hodgepodge of stuff, and it'd be great if, you know, those of us who call ourselves community managers could actually come up with a better, you know, terminology.
Yeah, I noticed that there's a couple books out or coming out that on the topic of community management, which it's kind of always a milestone and some idea when someone actually, like, you know, sits down and writes a book about it. So it's and there was a little conference kind of tied to one of those, a little bit to one of those. The
Community Leadership Summit, which is run by John O. Bacon, who is also, he wrote a book, The Art of Community. I haven't actually read it yet, but I would imagine it's probably good. So you should probably get a copy. And
I just ordered. Don Mate has a book, and it has a great subtitle that's like community marketing without being sleazy or something like that, which I think is, it's funny, like that's what it gets down to usually, is like,
right, because people associate, you know, when you talk about social media or anything like that, or doing, you know, grassroots marketing, people think that you're, you know, ethically challenged.
That's right.
But yeah, that's what I've been up to.
So March 2010.
March 2010.
And are you guys going to be doing anything else, or is it just conference oriented?
We'll try to put together the whole portal around that. So we try to tie together sort of a lot of the activity out there going on. You know, I find in general that a lot of projects and a lot of people just don't respect Windows users on a very basic level, and that's why I think no major effort has been made to sort of tie together loose ends in the open source space.
To have the open source world and the Windows world kind of friendly on the user's behalf.
Exactly.
Well, that's a noble goal.
Why, thank you.